Hey, I'm Nate Savage, and you know, we as guitar players, we love scales, we love learning new scales, but we often fall into the trap of just kind of running up and down scales like this. So how do we kind of break out of that and start choosing our notes better to play over chord changes? Well, in this lesson, I'm going to give you some tips to start playing over changes in a really simple way by taking a C natural minor scale and looking at a way to choose our notes better to fit over the corresponding chord, which would be a C minor chord. The first step is to really just make sure that you have, in this case, the scale you're trying to play down or trying to use down. This is a C natural minor scale. You need to have the shape down, but you also need to be able to spell it. It's C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B, and that's one area that guitar players really fall short on, is being able to spell their scale, so don't let that be you. So make sure you have the shape down as well. And if you don't know that particular shape, we have resources where you can go learn that. But that's really the first step. Second step would be to memorize where the root notes are, because those are kind of your home bases. In this particular shape, this is a 6-1 shape. That just means that your lowest root note is on the 6th string, and you start playing that with your first finger. That's a root note. You also have one right here on the 10th fret with your 3rd finger, and you have one on the high E string that mirrors the low E string with your first finger there on the 8th fret. So what we can do is just play through the scale and kind of rest on those root notes. So how do you start breaking out of that pattern of just running up and down the scale? Well, one of the first steps that you can take is to learn the arpeggio shape that kind of overlays this scale shape. And we're lucky because it's a really simple shape that most guitar players are familiar with. It's just an E minor bar chord shape, this one. So what we're going to do is try to emphasize the notes in the C minor chord there by playing the arpeggio. All you're going to do is add a couple of thirds, an E flat here and an E flat here. Now all the notes in that chord are just C, E flat, and G. C's, E flats, and G's. We're just adding those E flats on top just so we can play them in sequence. An arpeggio is just a chord. Instead of strumming it all at once, play it one note at a time like a scale. C, E flat, G, C, E flat, G, C, E flat. To get this arpeggio down, I'd recommend taking it just one octave at a time and really concentrating on what scale degree you're playing and say that scale degree out loud. So 1, lower 3rd, 5th, and that's it to start. 1, 3, 5. Really memorize on visualizing where those notes are as you play through the scale. Because those are going to be your target notes that sound the best over that C minor chord. Next octave is just C, E flat, G. Same thing, work on visualizing where those notes are as you play through the scale. And then the very high C and an E flat here. You can even hop up to the G there if you want to. So here's the crux of this lesson. I want to give you a practical point that you can use in your daily routine that's going to help you get better at picking out chord tones out of scales. What you want to do is just ascend up the arpeggio. You don't have to worry about technique, sweeping, or alternate. Just get through the arpeggio shape and concentrate on memorizing the scale degrees. And then come back down, and then go up and down the natural minor scale. And then the last step is to just throw in your minor pentatonic scale, the 6-1 shape that everybody knows, right? And what you're doing when you go through this sequence is you're burning in the locations of the chord tones into your brain and working on visualizing where those chord tones are over the minor pentatonic scale and the natural minor scale. Really valuable. This is going to enable you to target the thirds whenever you want to hear them, the roots, and the fifths.
the root.
So that being said, I have a jam track to make practicing this a lot funner for you. It's also going to help you hear the root of the chord, or that C minor chord, as you play through, the natural minor scale, arpeggio, and minor pentatonic scale. I'll give you an example. If you're an intermediate player who's just trying to get to that next level of improvisation, this is a great method to incorporate into your practice time no matter what scale you're working on. Put the jam track on, go through the arpeggio, try to be really aware of what chord tones you're hitting, and then just try to mix in this case, the natural minor scale, and pull out the chord tones that you want to hear in your solos. If you'd like to see the full series on natural minor scales, you can visit the link in the description below. And remember, with clear goals and consistent practice, you will see progress in your playing. I'll see you later.